Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning everyone.
A very good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in. We have muted everybody. If you have any questions, kindly write on chat. We muted everyone just to avoid disturbance during the session. Jyotishna ma'am, we request you to kindly start.
A very good morning to one and all present here for the program. Myself, Jyotishna, nursing officer from Cardiothoracic Center, AIMS New Delhi, and I take opportunity and privilege to welcome you all on the behalf of Society of Cardiac Nurses to this webinar on the occasion of World Restart of Heart Day 2020. Yesterday was a dream, tomorrow is a vision, but today will make every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. With this enlightening thought, I believe that the Society of Cardiac Nurses, in collaboration with the Indian Resuscitation Council, will give opportunity to nurses to test and enhance their knowledge and understanding the field. Now, I request the President of Society of Cardiac Nurses, Mr. Neeraj Kumar Swankar, who is also the coordinator and instructor of International Training Center, AIMS New Delhi, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Voice is not clear on mine.
Josna, your voice is not clear. So,
Okay, sir.
Neeraj sir, you can proceed.
thank you, sir. Thank you, Josna. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neeraj Kumar Swarnkar, the President of Society of Cardiac Nurses, and it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome everyone here today. I would like to extend a special welcome to Dr. Lokesh Adhara. He is the chairman of AAPI, Global Medical Education, and he is the Assistant Professor of Medicine, WMU School of Medicine, Kalamazoo, US, United States of America. And Dr. Chakrarao SSC, he is the Chairman of Indian Resuscitation Council, and Dr. Rakesh Garg, he is the Additional Professor of Critical Care and Palliative Medicine at Cancer Department at AIMS. So who all will be speaking later. So welcome all. I'm delighted to have Dr. L. Gopi Chandran. He is the founder president of SOCN, and the Payal Kahate. She is the instructor of Indian Resuscitation Council and the American Heart Association. So welcome all. I would especially like to say welcome to all the participants from the different parts of India who all are here to join this session. So welcome everyone here. As you know, today is the World Restart a Heart Day. So I'm so excited to have you all here to participate in the awareness activity about the cardiopulmonary resuscitation on this occasion of this World Restart Heart Day. It is a global initiative taking place every year on the October 16, 2020. The aims behind this to create a public awareness and to increase the public awareness about the cardiopulmonary resuscitation and the chest compression, like especially in case when you find any unconscious victim outside the hospital or inside the hospital. Last year, the Indian Resuscitation Council trained more than 5 lakhs individuals on this day, on this occasion of this World Restart Heart Day. So when this program, with this campaign, we want to create awareness that everyone can learn CPR and facilitate the basic life support courses in schools and the public locations. You know, every year, more than 3,50,000 out of the hospital cardiac arrest occurred in 2016. And it is very unfortunately, the 88% of people who suffer from the cardiac arrest outside the hospital die. You know why it has happened? Because of the lack of awareness about the chest compression and the CPRs, and nobody's had done the CPR because they don't have the they don't have the awareness about this, how to do the CPR. So as you know, if you do the CPR on the right time, so the chances of survival will be the so much of high. So every minute, the delay in the resuscitation of the cardiac arrest, the victim reduces the chances of survival by 7 to 10%. So it means every minute you are losing the 7 to 10% of chances of survival. So if we start the resuscitation after 10 minutes of the cardiac arrest, that means there is no chances of the survival. So that it means that every second is important in case of the chest compression and the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So if the CPR is performed immediately by someone nearby, the chances of survival of the victims can be double or triple. Therefore, it is very, very important to learn these skills and create awareness about this across the country. So finally, I won't take much time because we have all the expert speaker about to speak about this about the day and about this cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So finally, I would like to thank you everyone for being here today for this session and for this activity. So let the program begin. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jyotsna.
Thank you very much, sir, for your word of motivation. Now, I welcome Dr. L. Gopichandran to address the audience about collaboration of Society of Cardiac Nurses with Indian Resuscitation Council. He is the founder president of Society of Cardiac Nurses with a dynamic personality and also the associate professor of College of Nursing, AIIMS, New Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Jyotsna, for introducing me. Being a founder president of SOCNs, it is my pleasure to welcome you all for this auspicious day, the World Restart Heart Day. And before, already he told that the importance of day, which not only we are today celebrating the World Restart Heart Day, this is a day for the collaboration between IRC and the SOCN. I think everyone know about today, everyone doing collaboration between within the interdisciplinary also and between the disciplinary also. So whatever we are doing the collaboration, whatever we have vision in our own association, in our professions, when we jointly work together, so always we want to achieve the better outcome, especially in the healthcare outcome. That is our overall, our motto, our vision, which we are joining together. So in collaboration with the SOCNs, I wanted to highlight here what benefit we are going to achieve with this collaboration. So I already highlighted that the outcome in terms of the achieving the highest quality, the healthcare outcomes, and reducing the healthcare cost. Because India, like country, developing countries, we have a lot of challenges in the achieving these type of outcomes in terms of the cost burden and examples, the less number of physicians available, and even nurses. Today we have less number in our society. So we want to utilize that nurses for the better way, and same time to replace the doctor in terms of they are not available with performing the better task. Then really we can achieve the better outcome in the society. So other than that, also the management in the resource constrained settings, and also to improve the expanded and extended role of nurses, and also the today concern about task shifting. Even the government of India, it's also the empowering the nurses for creating the post like community health worker, which is also achieving the outcome of the community. So what is the future plan in the collaborations? So the plan of the collaboration, which always most important, we always look into join work together with the different associations. Number one, we association will set up many we want to extend the same type of creating awareness across the all state with the coordination of IRC and also nursing council and all state representative that make that impact on that, they improve the awareness among the student and community, and that makes a difference. Yesterday, I have seen that one CSF person in Delhi metro station, he saved the life of the one general, for the victim. that's the most important reason we are celebrating this type of the campaign that brings a lot of outcome in the society. Again, SOSVIN will conduct a IRC training program for the student and also for the instructor, nurses, paramedic, and even for COL, compression alone, that life support. This is all for general public regularly as per the IRC guideline. And most important, nurses are today visible. Today, not only the day for World Restart Heart Day, the day for anesthesiology day, world, because this all the day we are celebrating to understand the importance, the value, the respect to the people who contribute the more for the community. So today in COVID situation, nurses are very visible. Same like the anesthesiologists, they are doing tremendous job. That's why we are celebrating. I hope if cardiac nurses do the same thing with the collaboration of IRC, we will also make the difference. We may also triangular will join this day, cardiac nurse day for India. That maybe it's my hope, it's my vision, or maybe we can say our vision, or maybe my hope that they will celebrate one day. We'll join with them to celebrate the day. So same way, I wanted also to request the IRC press chairman and Dr. Rageshkar, Dr. Rogesh, because they are the international national coordinators, and they are very good jointly working with our society and for the nurses for the empowerment. And we are visible in terms of today nurses with their knowledge, with their expertise, and if there's some dedications. So, but if we are really, we are scientifically to become up more stronger, we should be participate like other country expert. I think Dr. Logesh know very well that he is an international coordinator. He know all the time, he used to talk with me that sir, developed country nurses are so good. They are at par with the medical people. Same way, I wanted Indian nurses, all nurses, Indian nurses in whatever they are specialized people. And we want also to come up in the scientifically the same at par with the medical professionals, that we need that support with guidance and the collaboration, and that achieve the outcome whatever I mentioned. So I request in future we want making that type of IRC guideline, the nurses expert in
I think he's unmute. Gopi Chandran, can you unmute?
Sir, you're muted.
I think his network went down.
differences, and we'll be visible not only as a nurse with our dedication and our attitude and our contributions, will be scientifically, our profession has come up very strongly. Once again, I thanking you all, our team member and the expert, the people today who are there joining with us to make the day. It's a wonderful day, and we'll move and be the better professional tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Jyotsna, you're muted.
Thank you, sir, for those visionary words, which mean a lot to us. Now, moving forward, I welcome our first speaker of the day, Dr. Chakra Rao, SST, Chairman of Indian Resuscitation Council, to enlighten us with a talk on the most relevant and important topic, CPR in India. Over to you, sir.
Easy logged in.
I'm not able to see him.
Yeah, you may want to call him. Otherwise, I can start one leak.
So maybe we can start with your presentation. Meanwhile, we'll coordinate with sir.
Yeah, you can call him. You have his number?
I'll just check with the team, sir.
Yeah. Okay. This is Lokesh Idara. Good afternoon for you. I have early morning 1:30 here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I really excited to meet you all, and my passion goes a long way. I have trained for CGFNS examination in Bangalore in 1990. Most of the students probably don't have born there. and we have recruited all students passed, all 99% of the students passed the CGFN examination. It's 1990 came to America. Congratulations for Society of Cardiac Nurse India. Dr. Gopi Chandran sir, founder, president of this association. It is a vision. And congratulations to Dr. Neeraj Swarankar, president of the Society of Cardiac Nurse. After I saw your association, I Googled it and find out that there is a journal for European Journal of Cardiovascular Nursing. I would request presidents and all the leadership look into the journal for your association too, because then only we can get a world recognition, and our students and our faculty are brilliant. We request your kind help. We're going to help you in case in case you need any information you need on the journal and articles. So nurses are foundation, pillar of healthcare. Nurses in India, healthcare even has to be improved. Means without the nursing education, without the quality of nurse, we cannot achieve that. And also, there is so many variation. Respect to the nurses is variable in our country. Like in USA and UK, the respect to the nurses is very high, equal to like a part of the doctor. But when you go to the rural areas, small towns in India, we need to do a lot of improvement there. So unless once the nurse is a part of the family and then equal to the doctor, engineer, lawyer, respected, then only our health of the India will go up and equal to the world. That's the most important part point I like to make. And that's my vision and dream. And I'm sure it will happen. We want to happen sooner. Current topic today is resuscitation in India. Nurses are the foundation pillars. That's what my topic is. I'm going to lay out how this will be the numbers wise. 1.3 billion people. So 1 in 100 out of hospital cardiac arrest attempted CPR in India. So if 100 people are out of hospital and only one, versus USA after they're working on 40 out of 100, even they're not perfect, but out of 40 of 100 attempted CPR. Example is one of our friends in here in Michigan, and their neighbor is has cardiac arrest, and that house neighbor, another neighbor, a high school student, came and did the CPR. His wife is in the house, not even know her husband is outside and had a cardiac arrest. Once the ambulance came, then the wife came out of the house. So what is our goal? At least 1.5 crores high school 10th class students need learn scores or BCLS every year. That's what the standards going on in across the world. Many states in the United States and other countries have laws which made mandatory school CPR, mandatory school CPR. If you look at this picture, this is the United States, this 50 states. The blue color made all the state made a mandatory rule. That means 12th grade, when you have a high school diploma, they will give only if you have CPR certificate. Only if you have CPR certificate, then only they will give you high school diploma. And few states are in the process. Only 2 or 3 states are not considered. So this is the how do we reach this kind of goal? Until you teach every 10th grade student how to do the compression only life support, we're not able to reach this. This is the goal. So before I go to that, nursing student should be a teacher. How do a nursing student should be a teacher? In 2019, even MBBS, first 4 weeks of their first year, so the college students join, and first 4 weeks, they have a MBBS, there is a course called CPR is included. This is the first year, the mandatory first year. So we have to make the same mandatory. All nursing colleges should be mandatory. When it is within 4 weeks of first they join, they should be certified. If all 12th graders of all country, USA are supposed to be the CPR, why not our students, at least nurses, should be joining first 4 weeks should be certified. That's a very simple minimal thing. And I will show you how it is easily can be done. And what we did is I came from Andhra Pradesh Guntur Medical College, and we took that example. Dr. Rakesh Garg sir, which going to give us a speech after me. I requested him, and he made a beautiful video, 26 minutes. It is on YouTube, and we send that video to the class of all the students, 100 students, and we also sent 50 multiple choice questions with answers. So that will tell you all the information. So the students are so excited. They learned, they watched the video a couple of times, they went through the questions, and then they came back for the demonstration. And their knowledge is in par or even better than MBBS students. So I believe in the nurses, and they're very, very smart. They're equal or even better, smarter than nurses in America. So the only thing is we need to show them. So I took another example. Once I came to know this school CPR is mandatory, we hired a healthcare worker, and then we trained him as a course instructor from IRC, and he used to go to every school like 2 hours and 50. He trained around 100 students in 9th and 10th grades of every class. He used to take some nearby villages. So in 50 days, he trained 5,000 students, the IRC course instructor. So we should make all the nursing students course instructor, or at least the responsibility of every nursing college teach surrounding schools. Nursing students as a teacher. So we don't see as a student, you are a teacher to teach high school students compression only life support. So these are the statistics. India has 8,692 nursing colleges, 3.2 lakh MBBS admissions of BSc nursing, A&M, GNM, and 4 other nursing courses. So 1.3 crores in 10th grade students. Each nursing college can teach 1,500. Is not, if one person teaches 5,000 a year, one nursing college teaching 1,500 is not that much. Each 1 year student, I mean, if you talk about one, all nursing students is almost 3 lakhs, that may be like 10 or 15 students every student. So I'm going to present this one. This the best place where the highest survival rate is in Washington, Seattle, where the Microsoft and Amazon and all those people, they have good support. From 2002, the every place, every employers, every schools have mandatory AED. So their survival rate is up to 63% in 2013. That is the best example. I mean, even this is the best example in America and the world. That's the, but they may have other statistics in other country. I have not time to go through the study recently. So the other point I like to make, AIMS Delhi nursing in college or nursing from AIMS have huge responsibility. You're like Mother India. So whatever you say, everybody follows. So the significant responsibility. I thank you taking care, leading this. India needs your blessing and guidance, and you're not teaching your 100 students, or you're not teaching your college. You have your responsibility, the whole India, whole 3 lakhs or 12 lakhs of nurses, million nurses student every year. So please keep in mind and bless all the nursing, and then guide, and we are there behind you and all support. And thank you so much for forming the society. When you look at it in USA, there's 100 different nursing organizations. I mean, there's so many for oncology, surgery, army, world. I mean, you list it. If you go onto this one link, you'll find all 100 different nursing organizations. The other thing I looked into it, we just formed Global Association of Medical Students. I think there's a need for nursing students have their own association. What I mean is, we have a student association network, but presidents should be there. They have their own website. They have their own network. You cannot imagine that we are learning from the Medical Students Association a lot more. Even though I'm 60-year-old, I'm learning research from them. I'm learning the tools from them. Their social media, they're amazing. So I think you need to give a platform to them. They are the president. We're just there outside, just observing them, giving support. So I really request. And thank you so much for your kind this is, I just made it while I saw in the chat room all the students from Tripura and different across the country joining. So this is probably will make a global one. And thank you so much for your kind time. I really appreciate your time. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Lokesh is the chairman of AAPI Global Medical Education and Assistant Professor of Medicine from USA. Thank you, sir, for sharing with us the vast progress of nurses making in this humble profession. It's given a strong motivation to the nurses, who is a strong pillar of the health society. Now, I welcome Dr. Rakesh Garg, Professor of Department of Ortho Anesthesiology and Palliative Medicine, AIMS, New Delhi. They will talk about history of compression only life support. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam, for the kind introduction. And I think I must congratulate the Society of Cardiac Nurses, who has taken a great initiative. My special thanks to Dr. Al Gopi Chandran, who is the founder president of Society of Cardiac Nurses, and definitely Dr. Neeraj Samankar, who is president of Society of Cardiac Nurses. Both have been a very good friend of mine, and I think they are doing a wonderful job, a wonderful work for various aspects, teaching, training related to CPR, and so many so forth. So my best wishes to them, that the Society of Cardiac Nurses keep doing good things, keep initiative into the teaching and training aspects, just not in India, but globally. And I'm very happy to see Dr. Lokesh Adara, who has been very, very supportive to us globally for supporting us with all those activities. And it is really a pleasure to see him on the panel. Dr. Chakra Rao will join us soon again. He is probably a little busy, some network issues, so he will probably join. So my sincere and best wishes for a World Restart a Heart Day, which was started a couple of years back for creating more awareness across the world. Now, when we talk about the CPR part, the CPR aspect is related to the important aspects. So why we want that everybody should learn CPR? Everybody should be very well aware of the CPR. It's not the job of the doctors, the nursing staff, and everything, but it is the job of everybody to provide CPR immediately, and that's why I just put my sincere thanks to the Society of Cardiac Nurses to also becomes active in taking forward on World Restart a Heart Day. So I just put it that everybody just can use your two hands to save life, and everybody can learn the things. And in that sense, I think each is important aspect for providing the cardiac compression to any of the arrested victims. Now, when we say the rule is, so I'll put it very clear that it is just not the physicians, or just not the doctors who will be providing the cardiac resuscitation. I will put that there are two main pillars. There are two main pillars who are very, very important for reviving a patient after cardiac arrest. And these two main pillars are, the first pillar is the layperson, and the second pillar is the nursing professionals. Now, these two important pillars are very important because in the hospital, the first one to observe a patient in cardiac arrest, whether it is happening in ward or a critical care unit or an emergency unit, will be the nursing professional. So I think I'm very happy that Society of Cardiac Nurses is taking a lead, because if the chest compression or the resuscitation is started at the earliest, the outcomes are really good, because we know the chances of success of resuscitation decreases by almost 7 to 10% with each minute that passes by. And the two persons, when I said the nurses, and the other will be the layperson. And we also had a couple of, or the majority of cardiac arrest happens at home. So it becomes our duty, it becomes our responsibility that there should be one lifesaver in each family, because they will be the persons who will be managing those things. And keeping in this view, the Indian Resuscitation Council has put forward for the layperson compression only life support. Now we have the guidelines which are for professionals, but we also need to have a dedicated guideline which we can teach easily to our laypersons. And this guideline is so simple that I'm sure that even a child of 10 years, 12 years can learn it. Even an elderly patient can learn it. But the only thing is we need to create some awareness. And I'm sure that the Society of Cardiac Nurses will take a huge leap, will take a huge initiative in taking it forward so that our society remains comfortable. So when we talk of the cardiac compression only life support, these are the three important links that we need to discuss or we need to integrate into the society. The first thing is the early recognition and activation of a cardiac arrest. Second step would be the earliest chest compression. And third step would be the early transfer. Now, the early recognition and activation and early chest compression, these two links have to be done by everybody. The early transverse modality is basically a principle of creating the ambulance services so that they can be shifted very fastly to the nearest hospital so that the outcome becomes very, very good. Now, early recognition and activation is not a very big rocket science. It is a very simple thing to assess whether patient is responding or not. If you see it, if I put it, now this is a simple algorithm. You just have few steps to follow, right? If you want to know that the patient is having a cardiac arrest or not, you just tap it. So when you as a nursing professionals take a lead in teaching the layperson, they have to follow just simple steps, and it becomes so easy for you to teach the layperson. Just tap on the shoulder, see whether patient is responsive or not responsive. If patient is not responsive, call for help so that ambulance can be arranged. The other equipments which are required for resuscitation can be arranged and patient can be transferred. So when you teach them, you just have to teach, once you have done it, just start chest compression, that's it. And those chest compressions should be of high quality. That's high quality, I means they should compress at least 5 to 6 centimeter. They should be doing at the speed of 120 compressions per minute. They should not be interrupting for anything. And after 5 cycles, they can reassess the patient again. And then they can see whether the patient is responding. So I think it's not very difficult. It's absolutely doable. Anybody can do it. And the Indian Resuscitation Council has provided this algorithm into various languages. So we can use this algorithm for teaching training across India. They are available in Gujarati, they are available in Telugu, they are available in Bengali, they are available in Hindi. So you can just use them and create awareness. And I'm very sure that the nursing professionals who are the core pillar, who are the core strength for such type of teaching and training will be a huge boost to our community. We can save so many of our countrymen by providing them the CPR knowledge, the calls knowledge in appropriate time. And this just simple figure, if you see, this is what we need to teach to our layperson. We just need to ensure that they're doing it correctly. We need to create a little bit of confidence in them that they can do it. And I think there's one question that people may ask you, that whether are we legally protected from it? Yes, you are. We have legal protections against anybody who's doing it because they have been trained for it. And if somebody provides compression on life support outside the hospital appropriately, they will be protected, and there is no legal action even if the patient is not giving a good outcome. So this means on World Restart a Heart Day, I think we should take a pledge that we'll be teaching one member in each family, and we'll ensure that the 2 hands can save life. If we can create a life saver in each family, I think we are doing a big job. And I must congratulate again the Society of Cardiac Nurses, especially Dr. Gopi Chandran and Mr. Neeraj Savankar for taking a huge initiative by creating this society and by doing this hard work. And they have tried to collaborate it with us, and we all together getting support from International Forum will take it forward so that we can do this noble work of saving lives across India. Thank you once again for inviting me to this big platform, and I wish everybody a very happy World Restart a Heart Day, and let's contribute towards it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for providing valuable insight on history of CRS and help us to excel in the CPR technique. Now, moving forward, I call upon Ms. Payal Kahul Hote, who is BLS and ACLS instructor in AIIMS New Delhi. She'll talk about automated external defibrillator awareness. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jyotishna.
Ma'am, are you sharing the screen or do you want us to share the screen?
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Okay.
So good morning, everyone. I am Payal Kahul Hote. I am placed in Orbo as Nurse Transplant Coordinator. I am AHA, BLS and ACLS instructor at AIIMS as well. So my topic for today is AED awareness. So by now, everybody is already clear about the burden of sudden cardiac death. 1.15 lakh people die every day in the world. And sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 killer in India as well, killing about 25 lakh people every year. And if we talk about Delhi, 25 to 45 deaths occur in a single day in Delhi. So as the burden is huge, so we should improve upon it. So how can we improve it? 50% of the patient's life can be saved if proper CPR and AED intervention is given to them. But on the contrary, 98% of the country's population is not trained in CPR. They are not aware. There is so much lack of awareness in this field. Many valuable lives can be saved by giving them training in cardiac first aid, which includes both CPR as well as AED, and which can be done at public places so that many lives can be saved. So, but we have roadblocks. My co-speakers, they have already talked about it, that there is huge lack of awareness among the common people. And moreover, if we talk about AED is not commonly available, especially in India. CPR can be done with hands only. Like Dr. Rakesh Garg have said, you just need 2 hands to save the life of a person who is a victim of sudden cardiac arrest. But for AED, we need to have the device at least available for the public use. And also, people have irrational fear about AED, that it might deteriorate the victim's health. So these are the roadblocks, and these support the continued education in this field should be done. So what is an AED? We are saying AED. It is the short form. It is actually an automated external defibrillator, which is a very lightweight, portable, computerized device. It can identify an abnormal heart rhythm that needs a shock. It itself identify, and on the same time, it can deliver an electric shock through the chest to the heart. So it is like a defibrillator. In hospitals, we use defibrillator, but in case of first aid we are talking about, we cannot take the defibrillator there. So at that very moment, if a sudden cardiac arrest is witnessed, this AED should be available for the public use. This shock, this has the potential to stop an irregular heartbeat, which we call arrhythmia, and the normal sinus rhythm, it can resume back after a sudden cardiac arrest. So now the importance of minimizing the time lapse, it is very important. As in CPR itself, sir has already said that every minute, the chances of survival drops by 7 to 10%. The same is with AED. In certain cardiac arrhythmias, AED is required. And if AED is not provided, if the shock is not provided, then alone CPR will not help. And if we provide AED, if we do the defibrillation, then the arrhythmia, it can revert back to normal sinus rhythm. So there are 2 life-threatening arrhythmias in it, which causes the arrest, that are pulseless ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation. Both the arrhythmias, these can be reverted back by simple use of defibrillation. And every minute if we lose, every second if we lose, the chances of survival of the victim is dropped by 7 to 10%. And in minutes, it can lead to death. So that is why AED is very important, because more people can respond to a medical emergency. We don't need hospitals for this. It can be done at public places where large number of people can use this. And if it is used properly, we can save the life of so many people. And these are portable devices. Because these are portable, these are simple to use, these can be used by non-medical personnel, which are our lay rescuers. So AED can be made part of emergency response programs. Like if we give a call to an emergency number, they can guide you to use an AED, and prompt delivery of CPR and AED and shock delivery can be done within minutes, which can save the life of the victims. And the outcome will be very good. This is how an automated external defibrillator looks like. It is a very simple device. You can see a box. It is a small device, portable, and it has an on and off button and a shock button, which is written as number 3. You can see a cable which is attached to it, and this cable attaches the pads, the external pads, which needs to be applied to the bare chest of the victim. So it is a very simple device. No complicated maneuvers is required to handle this. So we should use COVID precautions like using a face mask, preferably N95, sanitizing your hands before touching AED, sanitize the AED after use. If the these pads are disposables, then new pads should be used next time, and do not touch your face, nose while operating. These are simple precautions which you should take because this is COVID time. So how to use? As I have already said, it is very simple to use it. As you open the box, some of the devices will automatically be switched on, but certain devices needs to be switched on. They will have the on button in it. So as soon as you bring out the AED out of the packet, you switch on the AED, then it will then attach the pad to the victim's bare chest. In certain AEDs, the pads are already attached, but in certain cases, you plug in the you attach the lead to the AED, then attach the pad to the victim's bare chest, and then allow the AED to analyze the heart rhythm. The AED will prompt you to clear the victim so that it can analyze the heart rhythm. As you clear the victim, it will start analyzing the heart rhythm. And if it is shockable rhythm, then it will advise you to stop the patient and press the shock button. Again, from one version to another version, there is variation, like some will automatically give the shock, others will tell you to press the shock button. So before pressing the shock button, you should make sure nobody is touching the victim. You should say clearly, clear, everybody clear, and also visualize that nobody is touching the victim, and then press the shock button. And if after delivery of the shock, it will ask you to resume the CPR. And if the shock is not advised, then also it will ask you to resume CPR. No shock is advised. And this cycle, the entire cycle of analyzing the heart rhythm, it takes place every 2 minutes. So you can synchronize with this AED device. It will help you to guide your CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and also help you to deliver the shock to the victim. So it is helpful in both the ways. So this is the placement of pads, how it is to be done. It can be done as anterior-lateral, in which the one pad is attached just below the right collarbone and the second at the side of the left nipple. It can also be done anterior-posteriorly, like it is shown in 8 years and below kids. In kids, because the chest is small, so the defibrillation to occur, so we can apply the pads as anterior-posterior. And also, if you don't know about the pads placement, that is also not a worrisome thing, because on the pads itself, the picture is made, like where these pads needs to be placed. So that is not a very worrisome thing. Any lay person can do it. Just follow the picture and paste the pads properly on the bare chest of the victim. So now the use of AED. As I have already said, it is very simple. It is actually made for the lay persons. So non-medical personnels like police, fire service personnels, flight attendants, security guards, lay rescuers who has been trained in CPR, they can use AED. Even if you are not trained in CPR, then also AED operation can be done, though formal training is not required in it. But if you are trained in this, if the lay persons are trained in it, then their level of comfort and level of confidence increases, which help them to handle the machine very quickly and very easily. AED are actually meant for the use of general public. It gives the audible voice prompts, which guides you throughout the process. So any lay person, any non-medical person, anybody can handle this. Now, where all we should keep these AEDs? As we have already known about the data, that sudden cardiac arrest, this is of very high mortality, and this mortality we can always revert back by using a very simple maneuvers like CPR, like AED defibrillation. So it should be placed at such places where this device can be taken very easily by the lay rescuers. So in all the first response vehicles like ambulances, law enforcement vehicles, fire engines, this should be kept. It should be mandatorily kept here. Then public places where large number of people gathers, and also there can be a risk of heart attack like adventurous games, sport venues. There also we should keep AEDs. Then shopping malls, airports, airplanes, business or convention centers, hotels, cafeterias, school, doctors' offices, main reception areas and main corridors, everywhere AED should be placed. So to conclude, I would say that an ambulance reaches a patient who has suffered a sudden cardiac arrest at a public place with much delay. And a lot can be done during this time to save the life of the victim. Moreover, if we call the ambulances, there is acute shortage of cardiac ambulances, which should be mandatorily equipped with defibrillators. So what we need to do in this, we need to educate, we need to train the public at large in cardiac first aid, which includes both CPR and AED. Like our fellow colleagues, through this society, we can do this. We can train more and more students. Like Dr. Lokesh also have said, we should make mandatory programs in schools, in colleges, so that more and more lives can be saved. More and more people should be trained in this. So these, by simple measures, we can achieve our goal and we can save many lives. AED, and moreover, training just is not enough, because we need AED also. If we are trained enough and we don't have EED, then we won't be able to serve our purpose. So in that case, we should make sure that EED should be installed at most public places. By these simple measures, we will be able to save large number of precious lives. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing with us your deep knowledge of AED, and it will be very beneficial for all. Thank you, ma'am. Now, moving forward, I welcome our last speaker of the day, Dr. Chakrarao, SSC, Chairman of Indian Registration Council, to enlighten us with a talk on the most relevant and important topic, CPR in India. Over to you, sir.
I think Sir has some connectivity issues. I cannot see him.
So,
Okay, sir. So because of technical issue, sir may not be able to join. So I welcome Dr. Lokesh on behalf of Dr. Chakrarao, SSC.
yeah.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I will talk until Dr. Chakrarao, sir. He's releasing a stamp on behalf of IRC. So he has coordinated with so many ministers. I'm sure some issues are going on. So postal stamp is released with Indian resuscitation guidelines. That's where the first thing will happen in anywhere in the world. So I will. What is the CPR in India? First, I will go ahead and talk about guidelines. American Heart Association is the gold standard since 1960. And they given the guidelines, they did the research across the whole world. But after, I think into 1992, every country want their own guidelines. United Kingdom have their own, European Union have their own, Australia, New Zealand. But India did not have any guidelines. So we are depending completely on American Heart Association guidelines, even until last 2 years. So I requested Dr. Chakrarao, sir, can we do American Heart Association center in our medical college? He said, no, we like to get our own Indian guidelines. So since then I went to the ILCOR, International Liaison Committee Resuscitation meeting in Chicago, where the first time I attended on behalf of IRC.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Chakrarao sir has joined.
Oh, excellent. Dr. Chakrarao can take over.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
You are online.
Ole, will you open my PowerPoint? Share the screen. We are sharing the screen, or you will do?
Sir, you can share the screen.
I will share. We are sharing the screen.
Yes, sir.
I am a little delayed because there are a lot of questions in the earlier meeting. So a lot of good interaction. So I have to sit with them. So I just wanted to tell you how we have proceeded in CPR in India. Actually, the main idea has come from Dr. Lokesh Edara. Actually, he has asked me, why don't you start CPR in Kakinada? Kakinada is his beloved place where he has taken his earlier undergraduate MBBS training. So then he has come forward to offer me about 7.5 lakh rupees to purchase all the mannequins and everything, and we have started. Then with this, there is a desire in the Indian Society of Anesthesiologists that we should start our own guidelines, because whatever the existing guidelines that are there, they are very expensive to take the training. So we thought the training should be very accessible and it should be very cheap, and sometimes it can be even free for the school children and lay people. So our aim is to make every citizen a lifesaver. So for this reason, we are providing the COLS, the compression only life support, which we have brought it, is free of charges for all the school children and lay people, and we have BCLS and CCLS, which we are charging a major amount. Cardiac nurses.
Sir, I can just control the slides. You can just tell me when to change the slide, sir.
Now I have come. This is me. I brought Sri Narendra Modi with me. He is a person with technology and new thoughts and improvement in India. So, good morning, Narendra Modi ji. Next slide. This is the group of doctors
Sir,
actually.
can you go on the display settings on top? Display settings and duplicate slideshow. Yes. Thank you.
So this is a group of people who have assembled on April 16th at Hyderabad. There are about 40 members from different parts of India and from different specialties, including the EMRI, 108 people and all. I have chosen my team to, and Dr. Rakesh Garg is there, Dr. Mohid is there, Dr. Rajesh Dhawan is there, everybody. We have chosen this team, just actually standing behind. And this team has brought the Indian resuscitation guidelines. So I have given them a timeline. So they have gone through all the literature from 1966, where the American Heart Association has formed the guidelines till date, and they have brought out the literature which are helpful for developing countries where there is no proper emergency medical system, and those literature is used to write this CPR guidelines in India. Actually, there is not much of research in India, but our people which have brought, actually it is something like a corresponding different countries, underdeveloped countries, they brought it under. This is the thing. Next slide. So IRC working closely with the medical, surgical and nursing associations in India, and is a pan-India, and our guidelines are available to everybody. It is an initiation of, you can lift it or push it down. It is an initiation of the Indian Resuscitation, Indian Society of Anesthesiologists. And we have about 30,638 members, community members in Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, with 191 city branches spread in all the states. So we started there, and we have covered a population of about 50 lakhs last year, 2019, not only by training, but by our social media and all, and we have created awareness. And 2018, when we have started, when the ILCAR people have asked us to join them, then we have 2018, they have an idea of starting this World Restart a Heart Day. Then we have trained 2.25 lakh school students on compression only life support. This is the first beginning, and we are the highest in the world even at that time. Next slide. So this is the places is an our pan-India map where we have done CPR trainings last year 2019, and we have trained about 4,67,236 people, and our voice has gone to in different ways: FM radio, video, Facebook, Twitter, and so many other things, and we have spread up to 50 lakh population. And then we are again first in 2019. Next. So this is our main aim is every citizen a lifesaver, and all citizens in the world can save the lives. There is no racial difference, there is no economical difference or anything. So we are aiming on that. Next. So in 1960, CPR started by the American Heart Association, and in 66, CPR guidelines were developed by the American Heart Association. Subsequently, other 6 countries have developed their own guidelines, like Canadian, Great Britain, New Zealand, and Australia, Singapore, and even the South Africa. So CPR programs are as per the local need, and some of the, in India, actually, some of the people trained by the American Heart Association people, they are doing and coming at our request and giving training. And their training charges are very expensive. So we have come with our Indian guidelines, as I told you, Indian guidelines in 2017. Next slide. So cardiac arrest in India is approximately 4,280 people per 1 lakh population. So this is occurring every year. So for bigger cities, it is even more. And 70% of these 4,280 people are getting cardiac arrest outside the hospital and mostly at home. And 90% of the people who suffer this out of the hospital cardiac arrest are dying because there is no awareness about cardiac arrest. There are no trained people. There are no outside the hospital paramedics. There is not even a good program to ambulance program, and there is no activation of the emergency medical system. So immediate help, if a person is received help immediately, about 46% of the people can reach the hospital without any problem. So the survival of the victim doubles or even tripled if the CPR is performed immediately by someone nearby. So we have to train a person in every family. Next slide. So the international guidelines developed by the Australian, US, and other people are there, and the medical structure and advanced registration and usually is followed. Despite of the consensus benefits, compression only life support is proposed by the Indian Resuscitation Council with an algorithm. This could be probably because of the easy accessibility of the emergency medical services and increased level of awareness among the natives. So in other countries, their chances of survival is much better because of the availability of the emergency medical services. Next. So in India, we do not have guidelines. So there is no indigenously developed or designed things or tailored to limited with it tailored. We have very limited facilities, and a large part of the country is in the rural areas and less accessibility. And our people, they hesitate to provide help, They hesitate to provide mouth-to-mouth breathing. Of course, we are not advising now, and they hesitate to resuscitate also because they are thinking about the police. The police may victimize them and may keep them in the litigation. And a large section of Indian population do not have an access for CPR training. So this is the way, this is the place where the Indian Resuscitation Council plays a role with all your hands. So considering the limitations, the emergency medical services are not proper, and we have found there is a definite advantage of compression only life support is most important, and we have established the COLS as the resuscitation measure for lay persons or the bystanders in the immediate vicinity. So for this, we have a good algorithm and a structured program. Next slide. So in India, we have 70% of the population is in the rural areas, and literacy, we have our own customs, religions, we have our own languages, superstitions and all. And we have, I told you already these things, we have a very poorly developed emergency medical services and ambulance system, and CPR as recommended by the guidelines in the Western countries, they are not suitable to India because we do not have AEDs, we do not have proper ambulances and all those things. So that is the way we have advised the compression only life support and advise them to start chest compression immediately till the help arrives. So the skill is difficult to acquire even in our Indian people. So we have to train them more and more times, and we have to set them to use the technique in a proper way. Next slide. So the advantages of CPR is it is 3 larger randomized studies and everything trials are there, and the effective traditional CPR is performed by layperson. So we have everything shifted, everything from the paramedics to the even for the laypersons with the compression only life support. Next. So let us go together and let us do CPR, and October 16th is a grand event. That is the World Restart a Heart Day, and let us train more people this day. These are the people involved with us. These are the logos, different associations, and of course the main stakeholder is the Indian Society of Anesthesiologists. We have the logo of API also with us. Next. So we have categorized the CPR. Compression only life support to teach the school children and lay person. Basic cardiopulmonary life support for the paramedics and ambulance staff and even doctors. So this can happen anybody, and even we are giving this training to the army people who go into the field. And the comprehensive cardiopulmonary life support, it is for the doctors and paramedics and for the cardiac arrest that occurs in the hospital. This is most important. We'll teach them how to call for a code blue and how to treat. We'll teach them the drugs. We'll teach them the irregularities, arrhythmias of the cardiac rhythm, and we teach them the post-cardiac treatment also in this. Next. So, I told you we have a structured training program with manuals, videos, and NTR USS, that is the University of Health Sciences in Andhra Pradesh. They made it compulsory to have all his house surgeons to take this training from Indian Resuscitation Council, then only they issue the certificate. Our aim is to spread these trainings to the primary health center level so that more lives can be saved. And not only that, we are developing much more guidelines. We have already formed a task force committee for which we will be making some more guidelines on drowning, sunstroke, shock, allergies, or many other things. And this task force committee will be working from the next week. Next slide. So IRC, Indian Resuscitation Council, is trying the labor room IS also to resuscitate the newborn and to decrease the neonatal and infant mortality. This we wanted to take it as a very serious effort, and we are already having a plans. So the pause and all, we wanted to have our own Indian things so that it will be very easy or it will be very cost effective in training these people. We established training centers. Our training center is called Comprehensive Resuscitation Training Center, or CRTC, in all the medical and dental colleges in AP, and we are trying, and I am meeting many of the vice chancellors to implement this program in their jurisdiction. It is an all India program promoted by the Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, but all of you can join us for the good of our citizens. Next. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me a chance to address you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful session. Thank you for providing us with a vast knowledge of CPR in India and importance of compression-only life support. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now, before ending the session, I convey my heartfelt thanks on behalf of Society of Cardiac Nurses to all the speakers for sharing their valuable time and knowledge. And my sincere thanks to all the audience as well to be a part of this session. And now we are looking forward to see you all in our next session. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. It is all the technical problem that has delayed me. Sorry. Hope everything went on well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Lokesh, you are 4 o'clock.
Yeah, yes.
Should I end the meeting, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you.